Dover, number 90. Old Man in Oriental Attire. Professor Slive writes, Valentina noted the relationship of this drawing to Rembrandt's etching B281. These observations are sensible, but weaknesses in the drawing make it difficult to make a firm attribution to the master. Perhaps it's a copy after a lost original. Well, I see no weakness. Rembrandt's geometry is as firm and to the point as ever. I see sketchiness where Slive sees weakness. This and another drawing of the same subject, also rejected, could make the subject of a doctoral thesis. Rembrandt has posed the model for Nathan, probably wearing David's turban, sitting at the desk set up for Anslo's portrait, and used the model to try out various poses for Anslo. Here is a series of works that show us Rembrandt's method in more detail than ever before. Two of them have been de-attributed. Rembrandt rarely wasted his time on smartening up his drawings, as he did not foresee selling them. They were only sold as a result of his bankruptcy. This drawing is another good example of Rembrandt's shorthand, a term often used by an earlier generation of scholars. Way back in AD 77, Pliny wrote, "The last works of artists and their unfinished paintings are admired more than those which are finished, because in them are seen the preliminary drawing left visible, and the artist's actual thoughts." So this idea has been around for a long time and has clearly influenced many artists besides Rembrandt. Titian and Michelangelo spring to mind. Rembrandt himself and his contemporaries, Velázquez, Hals, Van Dyck and Rubens, are obvious examples. Unfortunately, no one has attempted to describe how this shorthand operates. Let me try, aided by modern systems of communication. Starting on the left, we see an accumulation of books and a doubled candlestick with one candle in it. We see precisely the same accumulation in the finished Portrait of Anslo, but seen from a slightly lower angle. The lighting coming from the left is the same. The table and drapes are virtually the same. The positioning of Anslo's hand is very similar to the drawing, and if we look carefully to the left of that visible hand, we can see an erased hand in front of his chest that is posed thumb up exactly like the painting. There may even be a third position of the hand, tried below the visible one. In fact, this drawing has so many resemblances to the painting that it's indeed strange that the two have not been compared before. Stranger still, the goldware etching compared by Valentina, instead of being reversed by the printing process, is in fact the same way round as the drawing. In fact, there is another etching, Student at a Table by Candlelight, B148, that does reverse the subject, but otherwise resembles this drawing as very much more closely than the goldware. The scholars seem to be deliberately shying away from any suggestion that was a real desk with an accumulation of books on it that Rembrandt drew, painted and etched. My own explanation for the similarity between the goldware and this drawing is that Rembrandt himself sat at this desk and observed the setup in a mirror as he drew on the plate, in preparation for the true sitter, Jan Utenborger, who was the official goldware, who will come for his portrait. The resemblance of the etching to Rembrandt is surely undeniable. This would explain the lack of print reversal, as Rembrandt was drawing on the plate from a mirror reversal itself. These positive clues are very evident in the second drawing that needs to be reattributed to Rembrandt's corpus. Look particularly at the pages of the open book, the section of the hat as it defines the form of the forehead and the hands. Do you see how endlessly fascinating the greater Rembrandt can be, simply because we're looking at what he was looking at, not at his style or his imaginings?